Hello everybody, this is Jay the Haunter, and today we have to unbox a setup is the 2014 Spirit Halloween Possessed Baby. This animatronic I was fortunate enough to find on Facebook Marketplace about 2.5 hours away from me. It was pretty far, but considering the rarity of this animatronic, I took the drive because this is not easy to find, and this is what I feel one of Spirit's best animatronics, considering you can actually roll this around and use it as an actual stroller for this animatronic. So I bought this animatronic for roughly about $200. So I'm overall very pleased with this animatronic, and it is all fixed up and working for you guys now. This did come with everything, as you can see. Obviously it has the box, and it does come with the remote as it does and shows up here. The only thing is that it does not have the instructions, but another prop I purchased off of Mercari in 2021 for some reason did have Possessed Baby's instructions in the box. So now I guess I have a complete Possessed Baby. So now let's show you all of the parts out of the box. And here are all of the baby's parts out of the box. You have these two straight poles labeled D, and then these two larger parts that are also labeled D. The four wheels, the stroller with the hood mechanism, speaker, and battery compartment, the baby with the blanket, and then the handle with the button controls. So now let's start the setup. The first thing you're going to do is grab one of your parts that is labeled D, one of your larger parts, and then grab your two smaller poles labeled D and go ahead and snap lock those down into this larger portion. After snap locking those two poles, you're going to grab your other large portion labeled D and snap lock that into those poles. Now that the base to the stroller is assembled, you're going to find your wheels and attach them on like so. For attaching the wheel, you're going to line up this groove, if it'll focus, this circle there in the back with this screw that is right there, like that, and then you're going to push this pin down and then lock it into place, and then the wheel will spin freely and you will be able to push the baby around. Repeat this step for all four wheels. Your next step is going to be locating the main part of the stroller and lining up the four snap lock connection points with the four snap lock poles on the stroller's base. Make sure this little silver tab, as you can see right there, is sticking out of all the poles. Your next step is going to be grabbing the stroller for the handle and snap locking it into the pole connectors that are on the sides of the stroller. After snapping in the handle to the stroller, you're going to go ahead and locate these wires labeled A and connect those to each other. Now go ahead and locate the baby and snap lock the baby's pole into the base. After snap locking the baby into the base, locate the wire coming from the baby and snap lock that into the port on the base labeled F. Now go ahead and locate the battery compartment. The baby's battery compartment is not going to be on the back. This is just a placeholder. It is going to be up here in the front. It is just Velcro down. It will need 4 AA batteries, or if you don't want to use this, you do have the option to use a 6-volt 2-amp DC adapter, as shown right there. Just a warning that as soon as you put in that 4th and final battery, the baby will start to immediately reset. So do not freak out and do not hinder the movement at all, as you might cause damage. As you can see here, I put in that 4th battery and the baby is immediately resetting. After putting in that 4th battery and watching the baby reset, go ahead and screw back on your battery lid and adjust the blanket and everything to your desire. I like to have his arms up just a little bit, so when he springs up, his hands are facing down. And then also go back here and fix the elastic on his hood. And then your setup is complete. This baby has 3, or technically 4 different ways that you want to activate it. It does come with a remote. I cannot demonstrate the remote because I do not have the batteries that I need for this remote. This remote does require 2 AAA batteries, but I will be able to show you kind of how this would work with the buttons that are on the stroller. So there is a button marked 1, which is larger one, and a button marked 2, which is the smaller one. The 1 button is going to activate the baby's crying, where the baby is going to cry, turn his head back and forth, and move his mouth, and then you activate 2, and that's going to activate the jump scare with the lighting, the screaming, the pop-up with the baby, and the hood falling back. In the same way the remote works, there are the 2 buttons labeled back here. You press number 1, and the baby is just going to cry, and cry. Just do this on and on until you go ahead and push that number 2 button. This does cycle for about 30 seconds, I believe, and then it will stop crying until you push the button again. And then you go ahead and press this number 2 button. And the baby will pop up. Your other 2 ways to activate this prop are going to be with the motion sensor, motion/sound sensor. The motion sensor, I believe, is here on the front of the stroller. Yes, right here. The motion sensor is right here. It is a light sensor. It is not the greatest. So if you do want to use the motion sensor, I highly recommend having a strobe light on it, or just make a loud sound near it, and that will also activate it. Then you also have the step pad function, which I will not be using a step pad. The step pad is more useful in the store when it was being displayed. I'll go ahead and show it to you in sensor so you can see how that works. The baby does do a little crying sequence and then pop up. Go ahead and try and activate it with the sensor down here. So now I will go ahead and give you a demo of the baby without me talking so you can hear the full sequence. I will activate it this way through the sound sensor. And now we will go ahead and turn off the lights. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe.